Welcome back to the channel Coin Dealer, Coin Collectors and Treasure Hunters, to another exciting deep dive into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins where everyday change can be hiding a fortune right under your nose. And today we are going to explore one of the most extraordinary examples of numismatic wonders, the legendary 1990 D Washington quarter, a coin that, despite having a humble face value of just 25 cents, has stunned collectors and experts alike, with sales reaching up to a jaw-dropping $62 million due to its incredibly rare errors, unusual mint characteristics, and the mysterious circumstances of its striking and circulation, making it a prime example of how a tiny detail overlooked by the average person can lead to astronomical value in the right hands. And before we break down the complexities of this particular quarter, let's take a moment to appreciate just how unlikely and thrilling it is that something minted in the millions for regular circulation could become a 1 in a billion type treasure that commands the attention of collectors around the globe. So if you've ever glanced at your spare change and wondered if it could hold more than lunch money, buckle up, because the story of the 1990 D quarter is a perfect storm of errors, misstrikes, and mint anomalies that have elevated it far beyond its intended value. And to understand why this specific coin is so phenomenally valuable, we need to explore several dimensions, starting with the nature of the minting process itself, where US coins are mass-produced in giant facilities such as the Denver Mint, which is where the D mint mark on this quarter comes from. But despite the highly automated nature of the process and rigorous quality controls, there is always a small margin for human error, mechanical mishap, or unforeseen anomalies in the metal composition or die alignment. And it is precisely within this margin that legends are born, because the rarest and most valuable coins are those that escape detection due to a unique combination of such minting errors, and the 1990 D quarter in question is thought to be an ultra-rare off-metal error, struck on the wrong planchette, possibly a leftover from a foreign coin or from another denomination altogether, leading to a mismatch in weight, diameter, or metal content, which is a significant deviation from the standard copper-nickel clad composition used for quarters, and this could alone catapult a coin's value into the stratosphere if verified. But that's just the beginning, because there are also reports of a misaligned die on the specimen, meaning that the coin was struck off-center or with improper alignment of the obverse and reverse designs, creating a visually dramatic and highly collectible error. And furthermore, the coin's date and mint mark, two critical identifiers, might be partially missing, doubled, or entirely displaced due to the same die error, which greatly enhances its rarity, because mint mark anomalies, especially when combined with striking errors, are exceptionally sought after, and the D itself in this case is suspected to be either repunched, where a mint mark was applied more than once in different positions, or completely missing in some variations, suggesting that either a die without the mint mark was mistakenly used at Denver, or that a planchette slipped through the minting process without being properly marked. And both scenarios are exceedingly rare and have precedents in other high-value coins, adding fuel to the fire of this quarter's astronomical appraisal. And if you think that's the end of the story, think again, because experts have also hypothesized that the metal composition of the coin could be anomalous, either struck on a silver planchette, which hadn't been used for circulating quarters since the 1960s, or on an experimental alloy that was being tested but not approved for mass production. And if such a coin somehow escaped into circulation and remained undetected for decades, only to be discovered later with its luster and error details intact, the value would spike exponentially. And these layers of possibility, planchette errors, strike misalignments, mint mark anomalies, and potential off-metal strikes, combine to create a perfect storm of numismatic intrigue that makes this coin not only rare but also the stuff of collector dreams. And when we talk about coins reaching $62 million in auction or private sale, we're usually discussing historic gold coins, early American currency, or coins with significant provenance. But the 1990 D quarter shatters those expectations, because it represents the hidden value in the modern era, a shocking reminder that even contemporary coinage can possess immense value under the right circumstances, especially when condition, rarity, and anomaly intersect in one piece. And there's also the mystery surrounding the coin's discovery to consider, because it wasn't widely reported or known for years, suggesting that it may have sat in someone's collection or even circulated briefly before being spotted for its anomalies. And that suspense adds a layer of intrigue to its story, inspiring everyday people to re-examine the change in their pocket and hope they too might be holding a life-changing piece of metal without knowing it. And collectors often ask what makes a valuable coin stand out from the ordinary, and the answer usually comes down to rarity, historical context, and condition. But when it comes to error coins like this one, the mistakes themselves are the features that make them so valuable, because errors are inherently scarce, especially those that evade detection and enter public circulation, and they tell a story of the minting process gone wrong in a way that's incredibly appealing to collectors who are often historians and detectives rolled into one. And in the case of this particular 1990 D quarter, it's not just one error that drives its value, but the convergence of multiple unusual factors that are individually rare and collectively almost impossible, making it a true unicorn in the numismatic world. And whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who's curious about the hidden treasures that may be lurking in everyday places, this coin serves as a vivid reminder that the most valuable things are often hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by someone with a sharp eye and a little bit of luck. And it also raises questions about how many other such coins may exist, perhaps in drawers, piggy banks, or vending machine trays, unnoticed and underappreciated until someone takes a closer look. And that is part of the magic of coin collecting, because unlike stocks, bonds, or digital assets, coins are tangible artifacts, pieces of metal that carry with them a blend of artistry, history, and mechanical curiosity. And when one of them defies the odds and turns out to be worth millions, it reminds us that the ordinary can become extraordinary with just the right twist of fate. So next time you get a quarter in change, take a moment to really examine it. Look at the date, the mint mark, the alignment, the coloration, and the texture, because what may appear at first glance to be a regular 1990 D quarter could in fact be a ticket to unimaginable value. And with that, we conclude our deep exploration of this incredible coin, but stay tuned for more astonishing tales of coinage, value, and the hunt for the rarest treasures, because you never know what we'll uncover next. And as always, keep collecting, keep learning, and don't forget to check your change. World of rare and valuable coins. Today, we have something truly extraordinary to discuss that might just make you dig through your loose change or family coin collections with renewed enthusiasm and a sharper eye, because in this video, we're exploring the incredible story behind a humble-looking 1991 D Washington quarter. Yes, a $quarter coin that normally carries a face value of just 25 cents but has reportedly been valued as high as $44 million by collectors and auctioneers, all thanks to a unique combination of minting errors, anomalies, and rare mint mark inconsistencies that have captivated coin experts, collectors, and treasure hunters across the globe. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this coin stands in a league of its own, what specific features you need to look out for, and how a simple oversight or mistake during production has transformed this coin into a veritable icon of modern numismatic history. So, without further ado, let's journey into the realm of the 1991 D quarter, a coin struck at the Denver Mint during a time when the United States Mint was ramping up its coinage production to meet increasing public demand. And yet, despite its mass production, one particular specimen, or perhaps a handful at most, were inadvertently created with a combination of errors so profound that they would later elevate their value from a negligible quarter of a dollar to a staggering multi-million-dollar valuation. And this coin's story begins in the mundane world of minting presses and coin blanks, where tiny oversights, misalignments, double strikes, and incorrect dies can give birth to unintended anomalies. And while most such errors go unnoticed or are considered minor curiosities, occasionally, the stars align in such a way that a coin emerges that is not only rare in terms of physical characteristics but is also enveloped in a fog of mystery, speculation, and historical intrigue that make it a cultural artifact. And such is the case with this 1991 D Washington quarter, which at first glance appears to be an ordinary circulating coin, bearing the familiar visage of George Washington on the obverse and the classic eagle on the reverse, yet upon closer inspection, and under the trained eyes of experts, reveals an array of anomalies, beginning with an extremely rare double-die obverse that affects both the lettering and the portrait of Washington himself, creating a shadowy, doubled appearance around the inscription such as "O in God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1991, and even subtler doubling on the facial features, which can only be seen under magnification but is unmistakable to seasoned numismatists. But what truly sets this particular coin apart is the peculiar positioning and styling of the D mint mark, which appears not only misaligned but shows evidence of being a repunched mint mark, known in the community as RPM, wherein the D was struck more than once in slightly different positions, likely due to manual errors during die preparation at the Denver Mint. And while RPMs are not unheard of, their presence on this particular year and denomination is exceedingly rare, and this alone might make it a moderately collectible piece. but in combination with the double die and other anomalies, it crosses over into the realm of legendary error coins, and if that weren't enough, the coin is also rumored to have been struck on an incorrect planchette, possibly a planchette intended for a foreign coin or even a different denomination altogether, which means its weight, diameter, and metal composition may differ slightly from standard specifications, a fact that has been confirmed through non-invasive testing methods such as X-ray fluorescence, revealing an unusual alloy content that deviates from the standard copper-nickel clad composition typical of US quarters minted in 1991. And these metallurgical anomalies further elevate the uniqueness of the coin, offering a potential explanation for its irregular strike and sharpness of detail, but perhaps most intriguing is the coin's provenance, as it is believed to have originated from a small batch of experimental strikes or test runs at the Denver Mint, possibly part of an internal quality control procedure or transitional phase in minting technology, and somehow, through either oversight or deliberate release, one or more of these coins found their way into general circulation only to be discovered years later by eagle-eyed collectors or even unsuspecting individuals sifting through pocket change, and the buzz surrounding this coin began quietly in collector forums and numismatic societies before erupting into public consciousness when one specimen was authenticated and appraised by several leading coin grading organizations, each assigning it not only a top-tier grade in terms of preservation, likely a mint state 65 or higher, but also verifying the full suite of errors, from the double die obverse and repunched mint mark to the off-metal composition and possible die rotation, a literal perfect storm of minting anomalies that no doubt contributes to its astronomical valuation. And when we talk about the $44 million figure, it's important to understand that this is not simply a wild guess but is based on comparative sales of similarly rare coins, expert appraisals, and the coin standing within the pantheon of US numismatic rarities. And while some may question how such a small object could command such a fortune, one need only look at the world of collectibles, where historical significance, rarity, condition, and collector demand converge to produce jaw-dropping prices, to realize that this valuation, while sensational, is not beyond the realm of possibility, especially given the convergence of multiple major errors in a single coin, and as such, the 1991 D quarter stands not only as a symbol of the fallibility of mechanical processes but also as a testament to the power of the human eye to recognize beauty, imperfection, and value where others see only the mundane, and this coin, in essence, embodies the perfect marriage of history, error, mystery, and human curiosity, compelling collectors to continue searching, analyzing, and dreaming, wondering if they too might one day stumble upon such a specimen in their change jar, thrift store find, or inherited coin collection. And while only one or two of these quarters are believed to exist in pristine, high grade condition, rumors persist of additional examples lying undiscovered, their multimillion-dollar value hidden beneath the grime of decades of circulation, and therein lies the thrill of numismatics, the knowledge that treasures may lie anywhere, waiting for discovery, their stories waiting to be told. And as always, if you're looking for more insights into rare coins, historical artifacts, or the fascinating stories that lie behind ordinary objects, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned, because you never know what might show up in your pocket next. We dive deep into the mysterious and incredibly valuable 1987 D Washington quarter, a coin that has stirred massive excitement and debate among collectors and numismatists worldwide due to an astonishing price tag of $83 million, a sum that dramatically defies its face value of just 25 cents and may seem unbelievable until we explore the unique combination of minting anomalies, historical context, and human error that transformed this everyday coin into one of the most sought-after collectibles in numismatic history. And whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who just enjoys discovering the hidden stories behind seemingly ordinary objects, you're about to embark on a fascinating journey through mint marks, die errors, planchette problems, and much more that together explain how a simple coin made during a routine year of coin production became a priceless artifact. So let's peel back the layers and get to the heart of why the 1987 D quarter has become such an enigma. And it all starts with the basics. 1987 was not generally considered a particularly rare or special year for coinage, and millions of quarters were produced at the Denver Mint that year with the standard features we've come to know and recognize, including the profile of George Washington on the obverse, the familiar eagle on the reverse, and the D mint mark indicating Denver as the point of origin. But in a handful of extremely rare and unexplained instances, some of these coins made it into Circulation carrying a series of abnormalities so unusual and significant that the numismatic community has spent years trying to fully document and understand them, and among these, one particular specimen has gained legendary status for possessing an unprecedented convergence of mint errors, starting with a dramatic double die obverse in which Washington's profile and inscriptions like "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" appear ghosted or shadowed in a way that is both visually striking and extremely rare, and on top of that, the coin in question was struck on a transitional planchet, believed to have been left over from a different composition year, possibly involving an alloy with a higher content of silver or copper that was no longer supposed to be in circulation, and this alone would have made it a rare transitional error, but the uniqueness doesn't stop there, as further microscopic analysis revealed that the coin was misaligned during the striking process, causing the design elements on the front and back not to align properly, creating what is known as an off-center strike, and if you've ever seen coins like that, you know they're already valuable, but add to that a bizarre and still unexplained mint mark anomaly where the D appears distorted, almost as if hand-punched at an incorrect angle or position, suggesting it might have been repunched or tampered with at the mint itself, possibly during a brief trial run or mistake corrected too late, and that has raised theories about a rogue mint worker or a failed test piece accidentally released, adding a whole level of intrigue and mystery to the coin's backstory, and because the United States Mint holds tight controls over its processes, these sorts of compounded errors are nearly impossible to replicate or even explain, leading some experts to suggest that the coin represents a one-of-a-kind accident, a perfect storm of minting anomalies that somehow made it through quality control and into the hands of a member of the public, where it was later discovered and authenticated using advanced numismatic tools including X-ray fluorescence and dye variety comparison, and when auctioned in a high-profile private sale, it shocked the coin-collecting world by fetching an astronomical $83 million, not just because of its errors but also due to its unmatched provenance and singularity. And while this figure might seem like a marketing gimmick or an exaggeration, the truth is that in the rarest corners of the collectible world, prices are determined not just by materials but by narrative, rarity, demand, and historical significance, and this coin checks all those boxes with ease, creating a new benchmark for what a modern-era error coin could be worth, and now collectors are on the hunt, hoping to find their own 1987 D quarter with similar traits, though the odds are astronomically low, and even coins with one or two of these features might fetch thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, especially if they include a dramatic die break, clipped planchet, or other recognizable mint errors, and if you're holding on to pocket change or rolls of quarters from the 1980s, it might be worth taking a very close look because even a minor variation from the norm can lead you down a rabbit hole of discovery, and for those with sharp eyes and the right tools, identifying something like a double strike, broad strike, or missing clad layer could mean uncovering a coin that's worth a small fortune, and all of this ties into the broader world of error coin collecting, a field where knowledge is power and one unusual detail can make the difference between a coin worth 25 cents and one that's valued in the millions, and with the rise of social media and online marketplaces, more and more people are becoming aware of these possibilities, leading to a renewed interest in coin rolls, change jars, and old collections passed down from family members, and in this digital age, it has never been easier to get a second opinion from an expert or to compare your coin against verified images in numismatic databases, but as with any collectible market, caution is essential because counterfeits and doctored coins also exist, and that's why authentication and provenance are so important, particularly when a coin like the $83 million 1987 D quarter comes into the spotlight, drawing media attention and inspiring thousands to check their own change in hopes of striking it rich, and whether you're looking through your own collection or just intrigued by the way small mistakes can lead to huge rewards, the story of this coin serves as a perfect example of why attention to detail and historical awareness can pay off in unexpected ways. So if you're fascinated by this story, keep digging, keep researching, and above all, keep collecting, because numismatics isn't just about coins, it's about the stories they carry, the history they preserve, and sometimes, the mysteries they leave behind. And as always, thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through time and value, and be sure to stay tuned for more unbelievable stories from the world of rare coins. We're diving deep into the incredible story of the 1995 quarter dollar USA coin, a seemingly ordinary coin with a face value of just 25 cents that has become the subject of immense intrigue, speculation, an astronomical value in the collector's market, with certain specimens reportedly fetching up to $35 million, a staggering amount that raises the obvious question. How can such a tiny, commonly circulated piece of metal become worth more than a luxury mansion or even a small private jet? And the answer lies buried in the rich history of coin minting, the human element of error, the technological limitations of the era, and the ever-fascinating world of numismatics, which has seen collectors and experts alike analyze, research, and obsess over the minute details of coins like the 1995 P-Quarter to uncover what makes them tick, and more importantly, what makes them rare, because rarity, combined with historical context, minting mistakes, and collector demand, can turn everyday currency into treasure, and the 1995 P-Quarter, minted in Philadelphia as indicated by the SP, the mint mark, is no exception, standing as a legendary piece that embodies the unpredictable beauty of minting errors, where sometimes accidents and oversights during production actually lead to uniqueness and therefore value. And what makes this particular quarter so intriguing is the blend of several compounding errors, most notably the misaligned die strikes, off-center prints, double dies, missing elements, and mint mark anomalies, all of which converge to form an incredibly rare coin that even seasoned collectors consider a once-in-a-lifetime find. And while millions of 1995 quarters were produced, only a handful exhibit the unique combination of errors that elevate their value into the multi-million-dollar range, particularly those with a double die obverse error, where the design on the front of the coin, especially elements like the word Liberty or the date 1995, appear doubled due to a misalignment in the die pressing process, a phenomenon that often escapes detection during minting but becomes a goldmine for collectors when found in circulation or in coin collections. And when such a double die is combined with an off-center strike, where the image is not perfectly centered and instead appears shifted, or when there's a misprint in George Washington's iconic profile, such as a distorted or partially missing image due to die wear or grease-filled dies, the coin's value skyrockets due to its extreme rarity. And in some extraordinary instances, these errors are further compounded by mint mark irregularities, like a missing P entirely or a visibly repunched mint mark where the SP appears struck more than once in different positions, all of which result in an error combination that is not just rare but practically unique. And because coin grading organizations and collectors value uniqueness above almost anything else, a coin like this quickly becomes the stuff of legend, passing through private sales, auctions, and collections with increasing value each time. And when authenticated by organizations like PCGS or NGC with a high mint state grade, say MS-67 or MS-68, the value appreciates exponentially, with one known specimen reportedly reaching the mind-blowing $35 million mark due to its combination of a clean double die obverse, a misaligned strike, a missing P, a mint mark, and incredible overall preservation, meaning it's not only an error coin but a near-perfect one in condition. And when coins like this enter the spotlight, the media attention and numismatic buzz surrounding them often drive up demand, with collectors worldwide competing to own such a historic piece, fueling rumors and legends about where other similar coins might be found, whether hidden in old piggy banks, sock drawers, or inherited coin collections, sparking a global treasure hunt among enthusiasts who scrutinize every 1995 quarter they come across under magnifying glasses and microscopes, hoping to discover the next million-dollar mistake. And what makes this story even more compelling is that these errors often arise from simple human mistakes during the minting process, whether it's a misalignment of the die, an improperly prepared die surface, or a momentary lapse in the quality control chain, reminding us that even in highly automated environments, the human touch still plays a crucial role, and it's precisely that human error that creates these anomalies, turning average into extraordinary. And although most 1995 quarters in circulation today hold only their face value or slightly more in circulated condition, the allure of the rare, high-grade, error-laden specimen continues to captivate collectors who understand the numismatic principle that scarcity, historical context, and desirability are the key ingredients of value. And when all these factors converge into a single coin, especially one still within living memory, like the 1995 P-Quarter, it becomes not just a collector's item but a cultural artifact. And while skeptics may question how any coin can be worth tens of millions of dollars, the reality is that collectible markets often function on rarity and demand, not intrinsic material value, meaning the $35 million valuation reflects what someone is willing to pay for a once-in-history coin, and the possibility that another such coin may never be found again, and that in itself creates a mystique. That inflates its worth beyond reason, and beyond the surface-level examination, experts also delve into metallurgical composition, looking for planchet errors or anomalies in the metal content itself, since sometimes quarters struck on experimental or incorrect planchets, such as one intended for a different denomination or metal alloy, can also create valuable oddities. And although no such confirmed metallurgical oddities have been publicly linked to the $35 million specimen, the possibility remains open and fuels continued examination of coins from this era. And there's also the speculative angle where some believe certain high-value coins gain their worth through provenance, their ownership history, meaning if a coin has passed through the hands of notable collectors, institutions, or has appeared in significant exhibitions, its value can be elevated beyond the objective features of the coin itself. And in this light, the 1995 p quarter becomes more than metal. It becomes a story, a piece of living history, a symbol of the imperfections and unpredictabilities in the American minting system, and a reminder that not everything valuable looks valuable at first glance. And while there's no guarantee that your 1995 quarter is the $1 million version, the possibility remains tantalizing enough to justify digging through your change jar, checking with a jeweler's loupe, comparing with online databases, and maybe, just maybe, uncovering that holy grail of coin collecting that turns pocket change into a multi-million-dollar fortune. And with collectors, dealers, and historians continuing to search for more examples and variations, the mythos of the 1995 p quarter only grows stronger with time, making it a beacon in the world of error coinage and an inspiration to novice and expert collectors alike who dream of stumbling upon one of the greatest accidental treasures in modern numismatic history.